One of the greatest mysteries of 2018, 2019, 2020, and beyond is going to be whether or not Rian Johnson actually directs his Star Wars trilogy. Okay, we're not hearing about it at all. We're not hearing about it really in any kind of official capacity. Kathleen Kennedy has mentioned it offhand. Bob Iger has outright forgotten it, and Rian Johnson himself has seemed extremely cagey over, well, quite frankly, everything concerning it. And again, it's popping up once more. Here's an article from Bounding into Comics that says The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson casts doubt on whether he'll work on Star Wars again. And we've been theorizing this for a while. We've been speculating on this for a while that, quite frankly, the brass at Lucasfilm knows they made a mistake with Rian Johnson. They know they made a mistake with The Last Jedi. I think that is one of the reasons why they have J.J. Abrams doing everything he can to give as much fan service as he can in order to kind of repair the cracks. And I get that, and I understand that, and they kind of have to do that. But at the same time, Johnson himself, if he is out, he's doing everything he can to troll the haters, so to speak, in order to make it harder for them to claim a victory. But I think victory is, quite frankly, on the horizon. I mean, when they first announced that this trilogy was going to be happening, it was December 2017. It's been nearly 2 years with no official confirmation of any of it, with no official confirmation of a release date or of a time he's going to be working on it himself, because he just simply doesn't talk about it. He has said that if he can do another movie in between Knives Out coming out in a couple weeks and this next his Star Wars film, he will, which means he has time. He doesn't have any actual frame of date for this kind of stuff. So here's what we're looking at here. So Rian Johnson, according to this article, says he's a Star Wars fan again, and when talking with Bang Showbiz. In fact, this is what he had to say.
Just one final question. Star Wars, the end of that trilogy is coming up. Loved your film that you did. Are you as excited as us fans to see how it ends?
I am a fan again. I get to just be a movie fan, and so I am so excited. I watched that last trailer, and I was just like squealing at my screens. I cannot wait to get my popcorn and sit down and see the end of this story, man. It's going to be great.
And can we expect for you to be working in the Star Wars universe again?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm still talking to Lucasfilm. They're figuring out what they're doing, and we'll see what happens. But I'd be thrilled if it happens. And I'm working on my own stuff too. And yeah.
Thrilled if it happened. Working on my own stuff. That does not quite sound like a person who knows what's going on, who has any kind of knowledge he can talk about in regards to the franchise. I would say at this point, it's pretty apparent that Johnson's not really making the movie. Yeah, it's not. Like, he might be there for appearances. And I say that because one of the things that Disney doesn't want to do, and one of the things that Kathleen Kennedy doesn't want to do, is to give any leeway officially to the fandom menace or to the vocal critical side of the fandom. They don't want to. I think it would go a long way in some aspects to bridge it together if that was the case, but they ultimately don't want to. And here's why. If they give the vocal crowd here credit, acknowledgement, that means that they win. And they don't want that. They don't want to act like, they don't want anyone to think that they had to kowtow to any specific audience. They don't want that. So they're just going to string everyone along. They're just going to, let it stretch itself out. And eventually it's just, I think, going to go away. I think once we get more information on what Dan and Dave are doing, whether or not they're only doing one movie or they're doing a series of films, even that's up in the air because of their Netflix deals. And whatever Rian Johnson's working on next is clearly going to take time away from working on Star Wars. But every time the question comes up, the answer gets less and less definitive. A while back, I want to say over a year ago, he was asked about it. And he's like, oh, we're working on the stories right now. We're really into it. Right after the release of The Last Jedi, he said he was really into it. And then it faded away. It went poof, and that faded away. And then it became, oh, he's working on Knives Out. And then Knives Out comes out, gets standing ovation at Toronto International Film Festival. Everyone's like, oh my God, it looks amazing. It looks, whatever. Then he gets asked about it again. He goes, well, if I have another movie I want to do in the process, another movie I want to do in the middle of this thing, before working on Star Wars, I might have time to do that. If you notice, the confidence level has shifted over the time. And I'm waiting to find out some more information on this. I have a source that knows a bit about this, and at least what's kind of going on within Lucasfilm. And I'm currently waiting for that person to give me more of an update, at least something that I feel is worth bringing up. Right now, it's just more like, hey, this is what I heard, but there's no other information to go along with it. So I'm going to hold off on that one right now. I know, sorry. Not trying to be a jerk about it, but I don't have all the info I feel I need yet to really talk about it. So I'm just not going to do that. But let's just say it ain't all sunshine, rainbows, and BJs over there in regards to Rian Johnson and everything else. And it does kind of show you here that since he's kind of the only one that's really talking about it, like I said, there's Kathleen Kennedy has brought it up when she's been asked about it. But even her talking about it seems kind of wishy-washy, seems kind of all over the place. Whereas Iger himself, the one who really does pull all the strings, has outright just stopped talking about Rian Johnson. He has just stopped talking about Rian Johnson. And if the CEO of the company, of which you made $1.3 billion for, and they're supposed to be giving you a trilogy of films that could equally pull in $1.3 billion, if not more, per movie, or less really, and they stop talking about you as being a proverbial, cash cow, then that's definitely something, right? That's something that's bad. I mean, look at James Gunn. James Gunn got fired. Iger called it in. Iger was okay with it. And then those movies only made 700,000 each or 700 million each, but they still went back and they got James Gunn to come back. And they kept talking about it. And it took a few months for James Gunn to get rehired. So I'm just saying, it's if they went and they brought James Gunn back into the fold, and Rian Johnson's like, well, whenever they get around to it or whenever they're doing it, I don't know what's going on. It really does show you that they had Marvel and Kevin Feige had confidence in James Gunn, and that confidence may not be there with Rian Johnson. In fact, I'd argue that it is not there at all. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with this. As always, as soon as I know more, you'll know more. But I do want to hear your thoughts and hear your opinions on this one. Do you think that it's actually going to happen, or has it been so long that Rian Johnson himself just can't come to terms and tell people that it's going to go away? Or why do you think they haven't told people that it's over yet, if it is over? Again, questions for you. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you made it this far, go ahead and type in TLJ in the chat so I know you made it, and give it a thumbs up or a dislike, whatever you guys want to do. But let me know why in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.